I think a lot of people are wondering about what the first 100 years of the section are like, and I have to think back to what it would have been like in 1920. California was a state, obviously, but at that time, people were really starting to understand water treatment better, how to make the water safe. The population was growing greatly. Well, obviously that's continued for 100 years or more, and we'll probably continue to see that. So, I think that throughout that 100 years, it has been so important for there to be a voice of safe drinking water, a voice that brings together the technical expertise and passes that on, kind of imparts that to a new generation year after year, so that we can really stay on top of what it means, what it takes to provide safe drinking water to a growing population.
will live in infamy.
Think about it, when the section was formed in 1920, there was obviously a lot less population in the state, but there was a lot less water management. And things like, the California Water Project hadn't been conceived yet, so people were moving to the state, and the infrastructure and the water that was necessary to serve them wasn't guaranteed in a lot of areas. So in comes the California-Nevada section of AWWA, and really the professionals that started this organization at that time were truly the visionaries in the water industry.
Wow, my first California-Nevada conference was, it's an interesting story because I was working as a water plant operator and I was going to school full-time getting my engineering degree. And I had a mentor, Chet Ockley, who I started up a treatment plant, and he's like, why don't you write that up? Because it was such an interesting story. So I'd do anything for Chet. I wrote it up, I gave it to him. Well, he submitted it as an abstract, and it got accepted. And so I had to present. That was one of my first exposures going to a conference, was presenting at the, it was in Fresno in 1992. And I had to borrow a suit from my mother. She was an executive in banking. All I had was, I was a water plant operator, so work clothes and, you know, a single young girl clothes, not necessarily business clothes. And so I did a presentation and found a whole community of people.
My first conference was in Sacramento, actually, and it was the fall conference in maybe 2000. And I came because my boss, who was a past chair of the section, told me to come. And he took me to the chair's reception, and so I got to meet all kinds of people. So I was a little bit nervous. I was a young professional at that time, so it was intimidating to me. But just the fact that I had a mentor who took me around places, and that everyone that I met was just so friendly and welcoming, that it was just a great experience, and I was hooked from there.
What I enjoy most, I think, is learning, but learning with friends. You know, when you get involved in the section, you get to know a lot of great people, and it's just an inspiration to have the opportunity to work with and collaborate with a variety of individuals, public agency folks that I've gotten to know over the years, and have a lot of respect for them, and getting that opportunity twice a year to come and see friends.
Absolutely worth it. I would encourage other young professionals to come in to be a part of the section and really come to these conferences. You get multiple things. You get the technical aspect from the technical sessions. There's CEUs, which is always a good thing for those folks who are operator certified, because that's a requirement and you got to do it anyway, so you might as well come and take advantage of that. And then really some of the mentorship and building those relationships. Advice you can get anywhere from specifically what your work path is, or just to see what's out there and what other people do. You'll find a lot of the times that other agencies, cities, municipalities, their structure is built a little different, and it's really interesting to find out what people's jobs are, and that can help your career path and figure out what's best for you.
Definitely in an advanced technological era now, it's very interesting to look back on manual processes and manual operations of water systems, and where they were and where they are today. It's a learning ground. We networked back then. We'll continue to network forward, and be able to build and have that collaborative relationship here with the section. That'll continue for the next 100 years.
Also, the competitions really build camaraderie.